All right, let's dive into a massive shift that's happening in cybersecurity. We're talking about moving way beyond the kind of malware we're used to. We're entering a whole new era, one where threats can actually think, adapt, and evolve, all by themselves. So let's take a look at how this new battlefield is really taking shape.
And just so you know where we are, this is part 6 of a 15-part overview. All the info we're covering comes from a really comprehensive tutorial on cybersecurity in the age of AI, put together by Virtualization Options LLC. So what is this huge change we're talking about? Well, think of it like the difference between a puppet following a script and an actor who can improvise on the fly. Malware, believe it or not, has gotten a brain. It's no longer just static, predictable code. It's a truly adaptive threat. Now, take a look at this, because it really spells it out. On the left, you've got the old school stuff, traditional malware. It was static, it was predictable, and antivirus software could catch it by looking for its signature, kind of like a digital fingerprint. But on the right, well, that's the world we live in now. We're talking adaptive code, constantly evolving behavior, and malware that actively works to erase its own fingerprints. You know, this ability for malware to become a shapeshifter is what makes it so unbelievably dangerous. It can hide right out in the open where you'd least expect it. So how in the world does it pull this off? Well, it mainly boils down to 2 incredibly clever techniques. Let's start with the first one, which you might have heard of, polymorphic malware. The name kind of gives it away. Poly meaning many, morphic meaning forms. This is malware that can change its appearance over and over again to avoid getting caught. So here's the key idea. Polymorphic malware literally rewrites its own code for every single new computer it infects. Imagine trying to catch a criminal who changes their face, their fingerprints, and their entire identity every time they cross a state line. That's exactly what old-school antivirus is up against. That old signature matching method, it becomes completely useless. So how does it get so good at this shape-shifting act? It uses this brilliant but kind of scary AI process called a generative adversarial network, or a GAN. The best way to think about it is like a master forger. That's the generator AI, creating new disguised malware. And then you have an expert detective, the discriminator AI, trying to spot the fake. Every single time the detective catches a forgery, the forger learns from the mistake and gets better. This happens thousands, even millions of times, until the forger can create a piece of malware that the detective just can't spot. And this shows you the actual tricks of the trade. It can mutate its code. That's like rearranging all the words in a sentence so it looks totally different but still means the same thing. It can wrap itself in layers of random encryption. It can even change how it behaves if it thinks it's being watched in a security sandbox, or change its timing to just blend in with all the normal noise of a computer. It's a true digital chameleon.
Okay, now for the second technique, which you could argue is even more terrifying. We're talking about living off the land attacks. This is where the malware doesn't bring any of its own weapons. Instead, it just picks up the computer's own tools and uses them against it. I mean, just look at this list. PowerShell, WMI, certtoodle. These aren't some shady files from the dark web. These are trusted, official system administration tools built right into Windows. The AI learns what normal activity with these tools looks like, and then it just mimics that activity perfectly to run its attack without ever dropping a single suspicious file on the machine. And this quote from the source material absolutely nails it. The goal here isn't just to be invisible. The goal is to look completely 100% normal. The AI crafts its attack commands so that statistically, they look just like something a real system administrator would do. So why is this such a game changer? Because after the attack happens, the security teams come in looking for clues, and they find pretty much nothing. There's no malicious file to analyze, no strange program to pick apart. The whole thing just looks like another day of routine IT work. It makes finding the attacker almost impossible. So, if we can't look for fingerprints, and we can't look for suspicious files, how on earth are we supposed to fight back? Well, the answer is a total shift in our defensive thinking. We have to stop looking for what the malware is and start focusing on what it's doing. We have to fight the behavior, not the signature. And the number one tool in this new fight is called Endpoint Detection and Response, or EDR. You can think of these platforms as the good guy AI, fighting back against the bad guy AI. They use their own machine learning to figure out what's normal for a device, and then they hunt for weird patterns of behavior. Things like PowerShell suddenly trying to download a file from a sketchy website. It doesn't care what the code looks like, it cares what the code does.
But even EDR isn't a silver bullet. The real strategy today is something called defense in depth. The idea is simple: create lots of different overlapping layers of security. Think of it like a medieval castle. You've got a moat, and then a wall, and then archers on the wall. If an attacker gets past one layer, another one is waiting to catch them.
So where does this all leave us? What's the new normal for anyone who's even remotely concerned about cybersecurity? Well, it means we're at the very beginning of a constant, nonstop, high-speed arms race.
And this is really the key takeaway from all of this. It's not a static battlefield anymore. It's this dynamic, relentless cycle where the attacking AI gets better at hiding and the defending AI gets better at finding. Each side is constantly learning from the other in this endless state of, well, algorithmic warfare.
Which brings us to the final and most critical question. If malware can now learn and adapt all by itself, how do we possibly stay one step ahead? The challenge isn't just about catching up to yesterday's threats anymore. It's about trying to predict and neutralize the threats of tomorrow, in a race against a machine that never, ever stops learning.